always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Hey guys, and welcome to GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Cynthia, and happy Wednesday, everyone. I hope you all are having a very strong start to your week and, have some new goals set for the rest of the week. My goal is basically the same as last week. Not entirely sure if I mentioned this in last week's episode, but last week I started a 1-week vegan challenge in that I eat 100% plant-based meals. Prior to that challenge that I made for myself last week, the majority of my meals were plant-based, about 70% of them. But I wanted to go the extra mile and really dive in and do like 100% plant-based meals, excluding my cheat meal, because my cheat meal, I'm going to go in, all right? So I'm pretty proud of myself. Like, it was challenging, but I did it. I think the key thing to this whole like plant-based situation, vegan lifestyle, is making sure that I have my food prepared. I'm organized, and I definitely didn't do that last week, and which is why I was like scrambling, putting random things together, and some of it were a hit, but there were definitely a couple that were a miss. So I learned from those non-flavorable meals, and I was like, all right, definitely not eating this again. We need a little spice. We need a little sauce or something. So yeah, I'm going to do the challenge again this week. I think, I'm more prepared. I have a shopping list that I'm going to get to right after I'm done recording this episode. And I have a better idea of what I'm eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it'll be much better, I think, this week, because I was literally scrambling last week, putting meals together, and yeah. So with all that said, I hope that you guys have some new goals set to achieve. Doesn't need to be anything major. Doesn't need to be anything crazy, right? Anything small wins. It's important to celebrate your small wins. So let me not go all Tony Robbins on you guys, and let's dive into what we're really here to discuss. And it is, first of all, I know I've talked about this topic a few times throughout the podcast about Megan Thee Stallion getting shot, and there were rumors, there were allegations being said that it was involving her then friend Tory Lanez, because just hours before, that whole story went viral, they were seen on Instagram Live, like partying with Kylie Jenner. They were in a pool, like kicking it, chilling, or whatever. So it was hard for some people to believe that Tory Lanez could have like done a complete 360 and shot her, within like a 4-hour span. No one knows what happened in that 4 hours. No one really knows why they started arguing, what incited the fight, but it resulted in Megan Thee Stallion being taken to the hospital to heal her foot, because she had multiple gunshots to her feet, and Tory Lanez was arrested. And again, when this story broke out, nobody knew who shot Megan Thee Stallion. Nothing was confirmed. They were all just allegations that it was Tory Lanez. And at the time, Megan didn't confirm nor deny. She just tweeted, that she was really hurt. She was betrayed by somebody she trusted, and that she was going to like take step and like reevaluate her circle, which I think it's a really good thing for her to do, especially, being in the spotlight. And she was like trying to be cool with everybody, which is like, it has its pros and cons because not everybody has their best interest for you. And I think this was definitely a learning lesson for Megan Thee Stallion. And she confirmed finally just a few days ago, that it was indeed Tory Lanez, that midget, who shot her. Megan Thee Stallion underwent surgery for a gunshot wound, and shrapnel was removed from her left heel in the hours after she says she was shot in the Hollywood Hills last month after a night partying. More details of the incident emerged Friday, a day after Megan Thee Stallion, for the first time through her Instagram Live, said her fellow hip-hop artist pulled the trigger that left her wounded on July 12th, talking about Tory Lanez. Medical records now in possession of authorities show that the rapper, who was born Megan Pete, underwent a surgical procedure to remove a foreign object from her heel hours after the shooting. She had a 4 cm by 4 cm wound, the records show. Megan Thee Stallion was treated at Cedar Sinai Medical Center, and she reported she felt pain in both feet. With the LA County District Attorney's Office considering whether to file felony assault with firearm charges against Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion said it was time for him to admit to shooting her. She said, "Yes, Tory shot me. You shot me, and you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying. Stop lying. Why lie? I don't understand." And she was very angry, like, when she was saying this on her Instagram Live. Like, you can tell she was hurt. Can you imagine, like, you being really close with somebody or getting close with somebody and then just them turning around and shooting you? She acknowledged that when police first responded to a report of a shooting and found the two recording artists outside an SUV, she did not tell responding officers she had been shot because she was afraid of the legal repercussions and afraid for her safety. As we all know, during this very sensitive time in our social climate, we can understand why she didn't tell the officers she got shot. She goes and says, "I didn't tell the police nothing because I didn't want us to get in more trouble," she said in the Instagram Live video, explaining that she feared being shot by the police when they heard of a gun in the vehicle. She also says she wanted to spare Tory Lanez the trouble and did not explain how she was injured. Initially, she told officials she thought it was a glass cut, not realizing the nature of the wound. She was barefoot at the time of the incident after a night of partying. Tory Lanez was arrested on a suspicion of possession of a concealed weapon after the vehicle he was in was stopped by the LAPD. Video from the scene showed Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion limping barefoot. Tory Lanez, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, was released on bail. LA County prosecutors on July 24th received a felony assault with a firearm investigation from the LAPD, but sent it back for further investigation. The 28-year-old rapper has not made any statement about the incident. He has stayed completely silent. But Megan Thee Stallion, in her comments, said she believed his publicists and people had been lying about the incident to deflect blame. Megan, her friend Tory Lanez, and his security guard were in an SUV after a party at a home owned by Kylie Jenner in the early hours of July 12, when the female rapper from Houston said an argument erupted and she decided she had enough and got out to walk away. She said she was minutes from the house she was staying in. She then alleged that as she walked away, Tory Lanez fired at her from the back seat. And she says, "You shot me. I didn't get cut by no glass, but I tell you why they are saying that." On that night in July, LA police officers swarmed the 800 block of Nichols Canyon about 4:30 in the morning after receiving a report of gunfire. According to the LAPD, witnesses to the incident provided a description of a suspect in their vehicle. Officers stopped a vehicle matching the description, detained multiple people, and eventually arrested Tory Lanez. In a video of the aftermath, both Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion can be seen in handcuffs as officers tried to determine what happened. Without naming the female rapper, the LAPD said one person was taken to the hospital with a foot injury. Megan Thee Stallion, in the aftermath, repeatedly said she expected to fully recover, but said in subsequent posts that the shooting and subsequent surgery was super scary and the worst experience of her life, and she felt blessed that the gunfire hit where it did. So we're going to cut into a very brief break, and when we come back, more on this story between Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now, don't bother, what's hot on Netflix, and everything in between. That's GSMCpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to GSMC Entertainment Podcast. So we're going to continue along with getting into more of the details of Megan Thee Stallion confirming the alleged rumors that her fellow hip-hop colleague, Tory Lanez, shot her in the foot multiple times. On Wednesday, Megan Thee Stallion posted and then deleted an image on Instagram that she said showed the result of her being shot. She goes, "Why would I lie about getting shot?" in a blunt post in response to comments questioning whether she was really hurt. She said she underwent surgery to remove the bullets. She had until Thursday avoided naming Tory Lanez as her assailant even in interviews. But then she accused him of lying to cover up the episode and accused him of getting allies on social media to drag her down, which is absolutely true. They have been coming for her. It's actually really disgusting what people have been saying, in terms of Megan Thee Stallion and saying like, oh, it's not true. Like, there's no reason he would have shot her. But it's like, none of us were there, none of us were there. How would we know what happened or what would have happened or anything like that? So I'm always going to believe the women, right? That's me. So the rapper accused another rapper of shooting her in the feet in LA in July after weeks of declining to say who was responsible for her injuries. In late July, she said on Instagram that she was struck in both feet and that fake stories about her continued to spread online. In a series of live videos on Instagram the night of August 20th, she addressed the rapper Tory Lanez and said, "You shot me." Representatives for Tory Lanez did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Until the August 20th videos, Megan Thee Stallion and the authorities had said little about what took place early on July 12th on Nichols Canyon Road in Hollywood. The Los Angeles police have not named a suspect or explained their injuries in detail. The police would not even confirm whether the injuries were gunshot wounds. Megan Thee Stallion said she had decided to identify Mr. Lanez because she was fed up with misinformation spreading online. Since details first emerged about the case, speculation has run rampant among hip-hop commentators and her legions of fans. Many have simply wondered what happened. It has been a strange turn in the story of a 25-year-old rapper who has vaulted to national fame in recent years with hits like Hot Girl Summer and collaborations with stars including Beyonce and Nicki Minaj. Born Megan Pete, Megan Thee Stallion spent years rapping in her hometown Houston, where she learned from her mother, who performed under the name Hollywood. Her 2017 song, Stally Freestyle, is often credited as the one that brought her worldwide attention. Then came an EP titled Tina Snow, then critical and popular success with her debut album Fever, and then Hot Girl Summer, a song that became a cultural phenomenon last year. In March, she released another album called Sugar, and her collaboration with Beyonce on a remix of the song Savage became her first #1 Billboard hit in May. In mid-August, she returned to #1 on Billboard as a featured guest on WAP by Cardi B, which debuted atop the chart with the most streams ever for a song in its first week of release. Tory Lanez also appeared high on the singles chart on the song What's Poppin' by Jack Harlow, which reached #4. She has emphasized her ambitions beyond music. She is a health administration student at Texas Southern University. All my life, I've been a person who's had my hands in a lot of things, she said in March. I was a bill collector at one point. I was a bartender. When I started rapping and making money, I was like, I'm going to use this to do things I really want to do. Finish school and start my business. What has said about getting shot? She first described being shot in an Instagram post on July 15th, saying that she had suffered gunshot wounds as a result of a crime that was committed against me and done with the intention to physically harm me. She said that the police took her to the hospital and that she had surgery to remove bullets. She wrote on Instagram, "It was important for me to clarify the details about this traumatic night." Almost 2 weeks after that post, Megan Thee Stallion posted a video to reassure fans that she was well, to thank her supporters, and to counter reports that she said were invented or based on fake sources. I was shot in both my feet, she said in the video, breaking into tears. Surgery, she said, was super scary. It was like just the worst experience of my life. She added that the bullets did not hit any bones or break any tendons, but were in there and had to be removed. In neither post did she say where the shooting happened. In the video, she criticized people who she said were spreading rumors about the shooting and those making jokes on social media. It's not funny, she said. There's nothing to joke about. It was nothing for y'all to start going and making up fake stories about. She said that she did not put her hands on anyone before the shooting. I didn't deserve to get shot. And she explained her lack of comment beyond Instagram, saying, "It's not that I was protecting anybody, I just wasn't ready to speak." The shooting, she said, was not something you just immediately get on the internet and start talking about. Though many people post on Instagram and Twitter as if it were their diary, she said, "That's not me." In the August videos, Megan Thee Stallion said that she was in a car with Mr. Lanez, his security, and a friend when they began arguing. She said she got out the car to end the argument. I get out, I'm walking away, she said, and Tory Lanez started shooting me from the back of the car. She said that she did not accuse Tory Lanez the night of the shooting because she was worried about what the police might do if they learned that there was a gun in the car. Even though he shot me, I tried to spare him. I didn't tell the laws what happened as soon as it happened, and I should have. So what have the police said? The Los Angeles Police Department on July 15th issued a news release detailing information they had on the incident and the status of the investigation. On July 12th at 4:30 in the morning, the police responded to calls reporting gunfire in the Hollywood Hills, the release said. After witnesses provided a description of a vehicle and the people involved, the police said officers detained multiple people at a traffic stop. One person, Tory Lanez, singer and rapper whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, was arrested and charged with concealing a firearm in the vehicle, the police said. The release said one person was taken to a hospital to receive medical treatment for a foot injury, but it did not name the victim. Records from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department that Mr. Lanez was released hours after the arrest after posting a $35,000 bond. He has an October 13th court date. A police spokesman said on August 21st that investigators had not provided updates in the case. We are aware of the social media posts that she made, said Officer William Cooper, the spokesman. Ricardo Santiago, a spokesman for the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office, said that the police presented prosecutors a case against Tory Lanez last month. But prosecutors told investigators they needed more information before they could decide whether to file a charge of felony assault with a semi-automatic firearm. So I guess everything is still up in the air, but it's just I can't even imagine going through that. That is absolutely traumatic. And it's just sad, and it angers me that people are so quick to judge and to believe false stories and to believe that she would have any intention to lie about that. Like, why would she lie about being shot and having bullets in her feet? And it's clear that their medical records show and back up what she's saying, like police have these records that there was a foot injury and it was hers. Hopefully all of this gets resolved and Megan Thee Stallion gets the justice that she deserves. So we're going to come to a very brief break. And when we come back, we're going to switch gears and talk about this Netflix show that I just finished binge watching called Selling Sunset. We'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Hey guys, and welcome back to GSMC Entertainment Podcast. So like I said, right before we went on break, we're going to be talking about this Netflix show called Selling Sunset. I finished binge watching all 3 seasons, and it's a reality show, but it's like not very good, but I still couldn't stop watching it. It's impossible to look away from this reality horror show, honestly. It's basically luxury, okay? Emphasis on the luxury, LA properties, fake friendships, real beefs. This spike stiletto heel of a series makes for hideously compulsive viewing, for real. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but it's like, I hate it, but I love it at the same time. A hazy sunset hovers above the city. There are only 2 types of light in LA. The bright glare of daytime, and the woozy, bruised blue glamour of the night. There's never pitch darkness, and there's never gray gloom. 6 women in $1,000 bandeau dresses dance artlessly on a roof. Selling houses to software moguls is a dark art, and to do it, you have to keep the hours of witches. Selling Sunset is arguably the endpoint for this generation of reality TV. It has learned every lesson every reality TV has taught before it. It has taken elements from all the successes, the glitzy domesticity of the Kardashians, the women who loathe each other forced constantly to hang out dynamic of Real Housewives, the ringlet to camera interview days after the event of Geordie Shore, and sharpened them to a spiked stiletto point. Not a moment of Selling Sunset is wasted on not being reality TV. All of the fat has been sucked out of it. A recap for those who missed it. And everyone missed it. Selling Sunset was the recipient of a curious algorithmic quirk where it ended up on the front page of everyone's Netflix at the start of lockdown and became a sensation overnight. The show follows the ongoings at the Oppenheim Group, an LA real estate brokerage that specializes in the most luxurious of luxury LA property. It's undeniable that much of Selling Sunset's allure is the property porn backdrop. Swooping HD walkthroughs of multi-million-dollar homes, the kind where people park Ferraris inside them and have infinity pools with views over the glowing city below. The entirety of Selling Sunset serving as an unintentional Parasite sequel. The real meat, though, is the fake friendships and real beefs of the women who work there. Chrishell, she's like the all-American wholesome wounded lead. Then we have Christine, a Cruella de Vil, Katherine Heigl crossover, who is TV's perfect villain. Heather and Mary, on the surface too nice for this, but by the sheer fact that they are there, proving that there is something dark lying within them. Davina, a quiet agent of chaos. Maya, far too straight shooting and normal for this sort of thing. The chemistry between them, hot, cold, licked, teeth behind rictus smiles, is close to alchemy. We don't know what season 3, which drops this week, will bring, but it's easy enough to guess the most expensive listing we've ever taken on. Someone introducing a silent man who wears caps to parties and owns a helicopter with a bright, here's my new boyfriend. Christine saying something to Chrishell that hurts her and everyone talking about it for days. Someone gets their heels stuck in a billionaire's lawn. Someone makes so much money from a commission that they decide to leave the agency forever. Someone moves just so in the LA sunlight and reveals that they are a ghost wearing skin, an infinite void, an abyss of darkness. Are these good people? No. Are they likable in any way? Rarely. Am I so captivated that I cannot look away? The footage of surgery or the aftermath of a fall? Yes. Watching Selling Sunset is like smoking. I don't know how to explain it. It's like smoking a cigarette, okay? You know it's poison, damaging your insides forever. But does it feel good to resist it? Or does it feel good to give it? Okay? I want to hear from you guys. Have you guys seen this? Have you seen the 3rd season? And what are your thoughts? And actually more about Selling Sunset. One of our favorite reality stars, Chrissy Teigen, even commented on Selling Sunset and if it was true or not. So the fact that Chrissy Teigen even watched it and she had something to say should tell you that the show is worth seeing, right? It's worth seeing. It really is. I mean, mainly for like the very luxurious LA properties. And I mean, the drama is just typical, like we said. It's typical, like Real Housewives stuff. And the big question regarding the show is Selling Sunset even real? Despite Selling Sunset being a reality show, you may have noticed that the internet is currently speculating how real it actually is. Most reality shows have some level of fake drama, like, what do you think Kris Jenner even does all day, okay? But when it comes to Selling Sunset, we're not just talking about potentially scripted scenes. People, Chrissy Teigen, are questioning if the Oppenheim Group is even made up of real estate agents as opposed to, I don't know, fake real estate agents who were hired for the show. This obviously calls for a thorough investigation. So here's everything that my assigned FBI agent and I know about how legit Netflix Selling Sunset is. Apparently, Chrissy Teigen spends her time trolling around LA real estate in her free time and hit Twitter to claim that she nor her agents have heard of any of the Oppenheim Group's agents. The internet immediately started speculating that Jason and Brett Oppenheim simply hired a bunch of models and actresses for the show. Chrissy Teigen tweeted, Maybe I also know everyone on TV plays up a character. They're all doing that. You guys are super mad at people who are in on the joke. I will say I look at LA real estate a lot and have never seen any of these people either have our agents, who I have obsessively asked. Jason Oppenheim didn't flat out deny speculation that his agents are more like agents, but he did attempt to politely shut down the rumor down. And Jason replied to Chrissy Teigen saying, Chrissy, thanks for watching our show. Regarding your agent's knowledge of members of my team, I respectfully don't know him either, although that doesn't mean he isn't successful and didn't just sell you a stunning home in WeHo. Seriously, I love your new house. Conspiracy theorists seem especially suspicious of Chrishell due to the fact that she was a professional actress before selling Sunset. But she went ahead and reposted a friend on Insta who said that she goes jogging by one of Heather I'm dating Tarek Young's properties and the house was just sold. So take that, internet. E! News spoke to both Davina Patratz and Maya Vander about claims that they're not real estate agents, and they both denied it. Maya said that she splits her time between LA and Miami, which is probably why Chrissy and the rest of her wealthy LA Twitter agents hadn't heard of her, while Davina said, I know a lot of agents, and if you're not a luxury condo bio, you may not know me, but I closed and sold deals for $9 million and up. So in other words, if you can't afford a $9 million luxury condo, get Davina's name out of your Twitter mentions. So you guys, that's going to wrap up today's episode here at the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff, because that tremendously helps the show. And I'll catch you guys here next week.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.